March 2014. An ordinary day in a small Japanese town. A young girl finishes her classes and goes home. The parents look at the clock she promised to come by 4. Minutes turn into hours, and not a word from my daughter. Anxiety turns into panic when it becomes obvious that something is wrong. The girl disappeared as if she had disappeared into thin air, leaving behind only contradictory witness statements and a series of unexplained clues. These clues will lead the investigation into a maelstrom of shocking events and frightening discoveries. It turns out that a mysterious man with dark intentions is behind the kidnapping. But who is this kidnapper? Why did he choose her? And what terrible plans was he going to implement? We are going to Saitama Prefecture, northwest of Tokyo, to the city of Osaka. It used to be a village with 4 postal stations, but today it is a residential suburb with a population of about 150,000 people. It would seem to be a quiet and safe place. Osaka is a city of discipline and technology. Education is especially appreciated here. 17 schools, and the heroine of our story, Anna Saito, studied in one of them. This is not her real name in Japan. This is how minors are designated in criminal cases, like John Doe in the United States. The story begins in 2014. Anna was 13, a calm, well-mannered girl from a prosperous family. On the 10th of March, she left school at 3:30 p.m. and did not return. The parents sounded the alarm. The house is empty. Things are in place. None of her friends or teachers have seen her. Soon, a letter arrived. I'm taking a break from school and home. Don't look for me. The handwriting is Anna's, but the content is someone else's. It wasn't her. The police immediately launched a search, but there were no leads. Only one neighbor remembered seeing her with a young guy. Is he a friend or a kidnapper? There was no response. 9 days later, another letter arrived. Anna wrote that she was fine. But the handwriting and style seemed strange again. The examination revealed that the letter was sent from Chiba Prefecture, 40 kilometers from Tokyo. The police checked everything, but there were no traces. Anna seemed to have disappeared. And there were no more letters. Anna's abductor turned out to be Kabu Terayuchi. At first glance, he looks like an ordinary guy from a wealthy family. His parents ran a successful security business. Kabu himself received a pilot's license in California and enrolled at Chiba University to study engineering. But behind the outward prosperity, there was a man with a dark obsession. Kabu was born in 1992, and at the time of the abduction, he was 22. Despite his achievements, he was considered introverted and strange. He hardly left the house and was obsessed with anime. In Japan, they are called hikikomori, voluntary hermits. About a week before Anna's disappearance, Kabu had a desire to observe the isolated girl. He wanted to conduct an experiment, how human behavior would change in conditions of complete isolation. Using Google Maps, he chose Osaka, a quiet but not remote city. There, he tracked down Anna. She often went alone. He studied her route, her house, and even her name. On the 10th of March, 2014, Kabu approached her outside her house, introduced himself as her parents' lawyer, and lied that they were getting a divorce. He promised to take her to a meeting. The girl believed it. Instead of an office, he took her to his house in Chiba Prefecture, 60 kilometers from Tokyo. Kabu's plan was terrifyingly thought out. In order to completely subdue Anna, he convinced her that her parents were going to sell her organs because of debts. He showed me a fake audio recording to make sure. Every day he repeated,
"Nobody needs you. Everyone has abandoned you. I'm the only one around."
Anna was too young to distinguish between lies and reality. Gradually, she began to believe the kidnapper, She developed Stockholm Syndrome. She became attached to Kabu, seeing him as her only protector. He kept her in a room with blocked windows and doors. Escape seemed impossible. Sometimes he would leave a window or door open on purpose as a check. Anna went out, but always returned before he arrived. Once, she tried to ask for help on the street, but no one responded. Even a police car passed by. In fact, Kabu has been preparing for this for years. He studied mind control materials, including CIA experiments. I found information about Japanese morning glory on the internet, a plant that affects perception. He mixed it into Anna's food, making her even more suggestible. Kabu increased his surveillance. He installed cameras, monitored every step, and continued to put psychological pressure. One day, Kabu accidentally discovered Anna's diary entry, her desperate plea for freedom. Enraged by this display of rebellion, he dramatically tightened his control. New locks and surveillance cameras appeared everywhere. Now, every corner of the house was under round-the-clock surveillance, and all recordings were broadcast directly to the abductor's phone. Anna was trapped under a microscope. But outside of home, Kabu was a completely different person. An ordinary student who calmly went to couples, communicated with classmates, and completed assignments without arousing the slightest suspicion. Meanwhile, the police did not stop searching. In March 2015, thousands of missing Anna announcements filled the streets and the internet. And one day, the girl came across one of these ads online. When she saw her face and realized that her parents had not stopped looking for her all this time, she found a new determination: to escape from imprisonment at any cost. And finally, 2 painful years later, in March 2016, Kabu made a fatal mistake. He forgot to close the door. Anna immediately seized the chance. She broke out of the house and got to the nearest phone to call her mother. She immediately contacted the police. A few hours later, the police were with Anna, escorting her to the police station, where the girl was immediately recognized. Finally, after a long separation, Anna met with her parents. But freedom did not mean the end of her suffering. Physically, she was relatively healthy, but her psyche suffered serious damage. Doctors diagnosed her with severe post-traumatic stress disorder, increased anxiety, and lagging behind in school. 2 years of her life and a significant part of her childhood were stolen from her. Kabu, having learned about the escape, tried to escape in a panic, but he was arrested the next morning. He confessed that he had been planning the abduction for a long time. He behaved strangely at the trial, claiming that he was a ghost and did not speak Japanese. The examination revealed mild autism, but not schizophrenia. The judge ruled that he was aware of his actions. Kabu was sentenced to 12 years. The release is scheduled for 2028. Anna continued to live, but her further fate is unknown.